Welcome to Inside the Track, man. Where we get more behind the scenes development of the track. Got a very special episode. It ain't a producer, ain't a artist. It's an entrepreneur. Got a young entrepreneur, man. We got my boy. Who we here with today?
Man, y'all here with James Montana, man. The owner of Anatnom clothing.
Yeah, man. How you doing, Montana?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I appreciate this opportunity. Having me up here, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming out here to give me the time to really chop it up with you. I ain't gonna ask you too much, man. Where you based out from?
Greensboro, North Carolina.
The city, man. Shout out the city. So back to the questions, man. What got you into being a young entrepreneur and selling clothes?
Like when I was younger, I ain't really get into the clothing trends. But as I got older, I started realizing, I want to. What if I would start creating my own clothing? At first, it was just like just a little minor idea. At the time, I was running track in high school. I had one of my friends, my classmates. I asked him just to simply draw a logo for me, and at first, like I didn't have my actual name, Anatnom. It was gonna be like my successor or something, but I needed to give it its own identity, but also have some relation to me. So eventually, like I want to say that was 2019. By probably 2021, I came up with the name Anatnom, and Anatnom is my tennis spelled backwards, and that's my middle name. So I was like, all right, boom, we don't already gave it some tie to me. So after that, I looked into more of giving it its own definition. But at the time, I was having troubles with it because I didn't want to put something out in the world and it didn't have no meaning to it, no essence. So eventually, I want to say around like that next year, that 2022 is when I really started to actually come up with an idea for what Anatnom means. And Anatnom is basically just a personification of self control, and it's not self control within the discipline aspect. It's more of a just acknowledging the reality that you yourself are in control. Basically, like you really are not forced to do anything.
Yeah.
Every decision you make is always going to be in your control. So that's just control the controllables, basically. So that's what the meaning of it is. Like, as far as like my logo, the name came, and the logo didn't come probably till the actual like design of the logo probably didn't come till like 2024. I had one of my homeboys' girlfriend draw up I pitched her the idea of the design. She drew it up for me, and she drew it exactly how I wanted it, and I just been trying to go from there. But as far as like clothes, clothes are just clothes. Like I mean, at the end of the day, everybody gonna want some clothes.
Yeah.
But the whole point of me wanting to create clothes is like basically just to put my message out. Is like at the end of the day, like you always gonna be in control. So like sometimes when sometimes people get into that mood where they feel like they're not in control of their life. They do something random, go on the shopping spree, change their hair color. So it's just like I'm just like, all right, boom. Like it's basically just give that reality check. Like at the end of the day, you in control. So you don't gotta go spend that bread. You ain't gotta do a crazy haircut. You always gonna be in control no matter what. So that's basically what the meaning is. Like I'm just trying to put a message out, and like when you wear my clothes, I don't want it. I'm the way I design my clothes. I don't ever want it to be like loud and like a propaganda. Like I like to keep it simple. I do go to the loud design sometimes, but it's really just based on something simple to the point where you can put it on with anything, any piece of clothing that you want to, and it's not going to stand out. But also, I want my clothing to draw people in. But like, hold on, what's that? What's that on your clothing? So that's the whole point of my clothing. Like I want it to have its own meaning and its own essence and its own identity.
Yeah, because nowadays, man, I was gonna ask you a question later down, because clothes are so populated. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that I'm saying making new clothes or clothes that's out there. How would you say you overcome that with how popular clothes are? How would you say what makes your brand different from everybody else's brand?
Basically, what makes my clothing brand different from everybody else's clothing brand is that it's the meaning behind the brand. Like I can say, like not trying to throw shots at everybody, but a lot of clothing brands, some people are creating clothing brands nowadays, like no meaning behind it. They just made a design, sent it to a manufacturer, got it shipped, boom, and they just trying to sell it, just trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
But the whole point of having a clothing brand, and if you're really serious about like putting clothes out into the world, is that sometimes you're gonna run into people that's gonna ask you what your clothing brand means, and if you can't tell them, you might have just lost the sale.
Yeah.
So I might say, as far as like what makes like, also another thing that keeps me from like what makes my clothing brand different from everybody's like the way I design it, the time I take. There was a point in time where I rushed a lot of my designs, but when I rushed those designs, I quickly realized like I'm doing too much. I'm not doing enough. I'm not taking time with it. So I didn't put those out. I just got some BS just laying around my room. But I learned from the mistakes I made. So now I take more time with my clothing designs. Even if I don't like the design, I don't completely get rid of it. I go back to it.
Yeah.
I see what I liked about the design and what I didn't, and I just revise it. And that's it. Like that's what I feel like makes my clothing brand different from everybody's clothing brand. It's the meaning behind it.
Yeah, you actually got something. I'm saying you put all your all into it. You put all your effort, and everything you say and everything you do goes behind your clothing brand. And I love that you said that answer. So, what's some things like you overcome as a young entrepreneur in the clothing industry? Like some things you had to really take a step back and be like, "Dang, that was kind of hard to get through."
I want to say the first thing hard probably to get through is the simple fact that everybody making clothing brands. Like I ain't even gonna lie, it's a lot. A new clothing brand probably popping up every day.
Yeah.
But the one thing I can say the hard thing to probably get over is like, and I can say I'm still dealing with it, but I'm still fighting through it. Is like comparison. When you coming up with a clothing brand, you seeing all these other clothing brands popping up, and maybe they getting more hype quicker than you, or maybe you just like, dang, like that joint fire. It's just like the one thing you gotta realize is that like you can't compare your clothes to other people's clothes. Like I'm gonna say, with every piece of clothing, you gotta make your clothing brand your own. So like if you comparing it to somebody else, that's probably gonna stop you from putting your stuff out there. And if it stops you, boom, then it really goes to show that you wasn't as passionate about the clothing. Because at the end of the day, it's so hard to come up with an original piece of clothing.
Yeah.
That there's always gonna be a time you're gonna see somebody else with probably the same type of clothing design it is, but you can always revise it. You can always make it your own. I can say with my jacket right here, I made it. I'm gonna say it got double hooded and it's satin. I can say with this clothing design, I got a crib at the I got a jacket at the crib that got two hoods on them. But I was like, I like the design, so I was like, you know what? Let me put my spin on it. Let me add some details to it. So I put the silk in it, and now it is my design. But am I going to say is it completely my design? No, I could just say, well, at the time I thought it was an original idea, but that's not going to really stop somebody else in the world from making the same piece of clothing. Because at the same time, your idea isn't always your idea. It can be somebody else's idea. It just depends on who gets it out quicker. I might say you're not going to be the first person to make a certain type of shirt, or you're not going to be the only person in the world that has a certain type of shirt idea. Somebody else going to have that type of idea. It just depends on who get it out quicker. And even if somebody do come out with the same design as you, that don't mean don't put yours out. You can still put your design out.
Yeah, and that goes to say what a question I was about to ask. And Virgil, the dude that Virgil, I think he made Louis Vuitton. He said, man, I think he said something about like taking another design and making it your own. How would you say is your opinion on that? Taking somebody else's design and making your own, or would you say it's better to start off from scratch and think of what you think of?
I'm gonna say that's actually a good idea. Like I just said, the double hooded jacket, that wasn't completely my idea, but I can't say like you gotta think like with Polo Lacoste, they got collared shirts.
Yeah.
They both make collared shirts. Like it just depends on
inspiration.
Because at that point, it just depends on who your consumer is, and if they like the way yours might be cheaper, yours might be more expensive. It depends off it depends off the what you want to give out. Like every idea is not going to be an original idea until you put your own spin onto it. So it's just like it doesn't matter how many regular plain t-shirts is put out in the world, somebody's going to make another plain t-shirt. Like
no doubt, man.
I'm gonna say just because somebody made a shirt, just because somebody made some underwear, don't mean you ain't got to make it. Just making it, put your own spin on it. Like your clothing, your clothing material can differentiate the other clothes already, because you can make more comfortable material, you can have more comfortable material, or you can just have a design that's more appeasing to somebody,
Mhm.
or it depends on the ethnic groups, or sometimes people's style. Like it just depends. I feel like taking like looking at somebody else's piece of clothing and you getting your own inspiration for it to the point where you revise it and now you done made it into your own piece of clothing. I feel like that's good. I
Yeah.
might say it's just like with making beats.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is tweak the tune a little bit. Now that joint is yours.
Yeah,
Like
like yeah, I ain't gonna lie, you're not lying, because definitely with making beats, with everything, you know what I'm saying, you could take something and make your own swag with it.
yeah.
So what's some things like I'm saying, like some good things that you overcame and learned from being a young entrepreneur in the clothing industry?
Um, some good things, patience. I feel like patience is one thing. If you're gonna be the only person, like if you're gonna be the person really hands on with everything about your clothing brand, from the designs, communication with the designs, logos, um, the mock-ups, patience. I might say with every design comes a little patience. Like I said earlier, I had some pieces of clothing that I rushed and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like, and that's something I overcame. Like just simply taking my time with each design, because I got like probably like I want to say I got 33 designs in my tablet. I've only produced probably 3 pieces of new clothing, and just like and I with each piece it just takes time, it takes patience, because I might say I can sit down in my chair, the first 10 minutes I come up with something, and then I might not like it, I might like it. Say if I don't like it, I'm gonna revisit and be like, all right, what I didn't like about this. Oh, okay, now I can see what I can fix. Like, and that's one thing I want to say. Patience is the most important thing. Patience and comparison. Like, don't compare yourself, and be patient with everything you do when it comes to your clothing, your clothing design, because you should want to be intentional with every piece of clothing you put out into the world.
Mm. And now that you say that, gang, I don't think you realize, but what you just said was powerful, because that relates to like people that will listen to this. That kind of relates to life. You know what I'm saying? You got to be patient and don't compare yourself. So I like that answer, gang. So take us inside the process of how you make your clothes. Like, you know what I'm saying? How does Montana start off with making his brands?
Like, I started off making my clothes like basically like it starts in your own closet. Like look at the stuff you got and what you like, and then you can also look at the other stuff. Like if you got some people with you, you can okay. If you got some people with you, you can just look at their clothes and then boom, you'll be fine. So like basically like the way I be designing my stuff is like basically I'll take my time, I'll sit down, I'll either just be brainstorming by myself. Either I'm at work, I'm in school. If I see a piece of clothing on somebody that I like, a piece of clothing that I like on somebody, or I might just literally come up with my own original idea, and that's how you really get into like that's how I get into like designing. Sometimes I get into my little slumps when I don't want to design nothing, but then I'll just randomly brainstorm. Sometimes be like, dang, like hold up, I can make that. I'll go into my tablet, start drawing up the mock-up, and then I'll just start letting my brain flow, let the creativity just go take its path. So I'm gonna say with a lot of my clothing, it really just like it be a mixture of my own ideas, and then sometimes it be a mixture of pieces of clothing that I like. Like I could say like um this piece of clothing, for example, I wanted to add satin to it. I got some other pieces that had satin to it, but I needed to revise those. Those other pieces of clothing that I didn't like, I gotta revise them because I like where I was going with it. I just didn't like how quickly and rushed my designs was. I feel like if I would take more time with my designs, I would be more confident in putting out my clothing, and that's something else you gotta be more confident about. You gotta put out your clothes how you feel like if you confident about your piece, put it out.
Yeah, man. The same. You have to promote yourself, and that's with anything. The alarm went off and fucked it up. But yeah, that's with anything, bro. You have to put yourself out there to really understand, like really see, like how can I explain this? Like you have to promote yourself. Like you know what I'm saying, you can't go think you're gonna go somewhere with just keeping all your stuff to yourself. So that being said, man, like what's some things like as a young entrepreneur, man, and I'm gonna be real, as being a black man in I'm saying a business, what's some things like you had to really tell yourself, like to really motivate yourself to keep going? Because I know things may get hard, you be like, man, I don't feel like doing it. What motivates you to keep going?
What motivates me to keep going is the simple fact that like I actually want to continue doing it. It's the passion behind it. Like
Yeah.
I might say I can get discouraged sometimes. Like I might be like, nah. I can't actually. Matter of fact, I take that back. I might say I don't think there's ever been a time where I felt like I wanted to stop doing clothes. It was just more of I got in the mood, just like, dang, like what am I doing wrong? I started self-reflecting, start questioning myself, and I'd be like, you know what? All right, well, we gotta get out this at some point. We gotta get back on track, and that's what really keeps me going. And uh, being a young black entrepreneur, like I said, right now, I want to say it's difficult, but um, what will really detour you from like staying on your path is just like you watching other people and comparing yourself. I can say there's a little right now in this generation, there's a lot of young black entrepreneurs, and just because you see a lot growing at once or you see a lot growing within a year does not mean you cannot be one of them. I might say you can add to them numbers, because now it just comes down to would you rather be I wanted to do that, be a could been, or you want to be able to you want to be the person to say, yeah, I did that and I'm still doing it to this day. I might say just because somebody put a clothing brand out don't mean not saying you're gonna try to like pay for their downfall, but every piece of clothing that come out is not always successful.
Mm-hmm.
And that could go for you as well. Like every piece of clothing and that could go for me as well. Every piece of clothing I put out might not be successful, but that's I shouldn't let that take away my confidence in my clothing and keep pushing out stuff.
Yeah, man, my fault, man. I had to look inside my book because that was a goddamn great ass answer. With being a black entrepreneur, I really don't have no experience because, you know what I'm saying, I'm not in that field of lane. But I know it's a lot, you know what I'm saying. People may just get discouraged of how much was going on and how much that's out there. How would you say, you know what I'm saying, are there any inspirations you had, you know what I'm saying, with making your clothing brand? Like, if you know any, like, other clothing brands you was like, you know what I'm saying, that inspired you to make clothes?
I want to say like growing up, I didn't really know about a lot of clothing brands. I could say just the simple stuff. I like a lot of sportswear. That's what was getting me sportswear. I remember in elementary school, my mama got me a Lacoste shirt. I really like Lacoste. It was a
Yeah,
good material
the
shirt.
Lacoste.
I could say as I got older, since I was born in DC, my family put me onto a clothing brand out of DC, and it's called the Museum. I like their clothes too, so it's just like just seeing all these pieces of clothing where it just be regular sportswear to designer. It really got me like, all right, so where do I want to fall into the category? And right now, currently, I can say I'm working on streetwear, but eventually, I do want to like branch out, and start doing like collar shirt, do more formal wear, do some slacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, because with clothes, man, it's so much you can do. Just how like with now, like I feel like the clothing, like the clothing has expanded from back then and now. Like it's so much you can do, man. So describe autonomy, if I'm saying it right, man. Describe your brand. What is your brand?
Anatnom.
Anatnom. My fault, man. My fault.
Yeah, it's Anatnom. It's Anatnom. Describe my brand. I feel like I described it earlier perfectly, but like Anatnom, Anatnom is a statement within this itself. Anatnom means that I want Anatnom to mean that you are always in control no matter what. Like it's an acknowledgement of the reality that you yourself are in control. Like when you like that's all I want. Like that's just really what it means by itself. If I describe my clothing, that's gonna be the first thing I go to. The acknowledgement of the reality that you yourself are in control. Like that is the statement I want my brand to stand for, no matter what. It's not changing or anything. Like the whole point of my brand is to alter a negative mindset, whether it be about yourself, what you doing in your life, and like, you having a rough day. It's just that acknowledgement that dang, like, all right, I can go another day. It's gonna get better. It's about staying optimistic and staying focused.
Damn, man, that's some good ass answers, man. You I don't think you kind of understand, but I'm probably do, gang. This shit what you're saying correlates to life too, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not being complacent. You know what I'm saying? You're not when you said, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna keep myself in one place and goddamn, man, that shit crazy, man. So what should people be looking out for, man? What new drops you got dropping?
When the drops,
Yeah.
ooh. I was gonna do something for the summer, but you know, life be hitting sometimes, so I had to change that. So I think I do wanna release. I want to drop some more clothing in the winter. I want to do these jackets again, do a different colorway, do more of a cold, autumn to winter type colorway. I'm thinking about doing some coats, like puffer coats. What I really need to do is do something simple, like with some t-shirts. I do got some t-shirt designs. I'm also working on do some hats, toboggans, but not like your regular little Scully caps. I'm trying to put satin line in those too, you know, for our you feel me, our
Yeah.
black people. You feel me? So that's something else. I do want to do something. I eventually do want to start. I want to separate my clothing sizes, so not just having unisex, but I want to make clothing for women and men. So now it's just like, oh, like is this unisex? People are asking that. I get a lot of questions like that. Was this unisex? Does this fit all, or is this women and men? So I'm trying to now actually have them two separated. I do want to do this jacket again, but I do want to make it like specifically for a woman's body type as well. And I want to do clothes. I want to do gym clothing for men and women. I want to do some. I'm gonna eventually do some formal wear too. But right now, as far as right now, to look for the future in the winter, the fall and the winter. Once it touches like September, I'm probably gonna be looking forward, probably dropping these jackets again, but also um, dropping these jackets again for surely. But I also might even do some sweatsuits. I did create a pair of pants with these, and I might actually drop those because when I drop these jackets, people was just like, I see you had on some pants. How I get those? I'm like, those didn't come with the drop because I had made a mistake previously by promoting the jacket. I made it to a whole sweatsuit, and people didn't want the whole sweatsuit. So it's just like you learn from your mistakes. So I want to say for the winter, it's going to be sweatsuits and hoodies, hats.
Yeah, man. Man, y'all look out for that drop, man. But one more question, I'm gonna let you get up out of here. What's your favorite part about making clothes, man?
My favorite part about making clothes is the simple fact of like letting my mind just run free about my creativity. Like I feel like a lot of people might think they're not creative, but really, like if you sit down, either throw on some music or just simply sit down in silence, you'll realize how creative your mind can get. And I feel like once I get into that mode where I'm like, damn, all right, I got one clothing design. In the midst of me making that one clothing design, boom, I done got another one. And then I moved to that one, boom, I got another one, another one, another one. That's my favorite part about like that's one of my favorite parts about clothing designs. And then another thing is like making a clothing design and then sending it to your manufacturer and getting back and it's exactly how you wanted it. I might say I just gotta just at the beginning of this month. Last week I had a pair of jeans. I created the design in like early February, and I didn't get it till last week. And my favorite part about the design is like when I got it, I could say the only thing I probably didn't like about it was the length, but everything else about the pants, the jeans was perfect. Another thing is just like just seeing something that you created, like you create a clothing design, get it shipped out, boom, see, dang, like I created this.
Made that.
Like being able to say like, oh, like I made this. It gives you that extra like endorphin run. It's just like, dang, like I really made this. Like this is what I did, and it's like an accomplishment. So I can say those are a couple things that I like about clothing design and what keeps me going about.
Yeah, man. Now that you say something about manufacturing, my fault. I have one more question for you. What's the manufacturing process like? Because I know people, man, a lot of people go through some crazy stuff with manufacturing. What's that process like, man? How'd you get through it, man, to really find out who the best manufacturer for you is?
I ain't even gonna lie, it's really trial and error.
Yeah.
It's really trial and error. I'm not gonna lie. At first I was like getting manufacturers out of Pakistan, and it was going good at first. But boom, I had like one of my homegirls put me on her manufacturer because she had a clothing brand as well. She put me on her manufacturer, and then eventually I ran into errors with that manufacturer. I lost bread. Like I can say that's one thing. If you working on a clothing brand, it takes money.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose some of it, but you gotta keep going. So when I lost bread, I lost like because I think I did sweatsuits and I did like some gym sets. I lost that. They never sent me it. Never lost contact with them. Never got the bread back. Never got the clothes. So then boom, my one of my homegirls, she's also a brand ambassador for my brand. I was telling her about my process of looking for a manufacturer. She was like, all right. She found the manufacturer for me, sent it to me, and I was using them for like a good year. But I was running into errors with them too because they kept getting my logo wrong. They wasn't finishing my logo.
Mm-hmm.
So then, after that, I spoke to another friend of mine. She has a clothing brand herself, and she told me where I had been here, and since I was telling people about my idea of making clothing brands, like going Alibaba, and Alibaba is like it's an app full of manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
You can either get plain stuff or you can actually have them put your logo on it. Boom, like they can either ship you blanks or they can make your clothing for you. So I went on there, and I can say there's a difference between like the clothing I was getting from Pakistan and clothing I was getting from China. I can say like I like the material from Pakistan, but it just didn't feel right. Like it just something felt off. I can say when I get from China is like it feels more. It feels better. It's more comfortable.
Yeah.
It feels like it's sustainable. It's gonna last long. So I can say like as far as in like what it can, I went through some trials. Like I'm talking about some people probably do still have some Pakistan manufacturers, and that's good because if they still have Pakistan manufacturers, that means like that manufacturer is good. Like
well, yeah.
But I can say I already ran through two of them. I didn't like my experience, so then I moved somewhere because that's another thing that's different between those two is like the pricing.
Mm-hmm.
I can say like the material I got back, like the clothing I would get from my Pakistan manufacturers would be a little cheaper, and Alibaba it costs some bread, especially with these tariffs. So I can say one thing is like some people gonna be like, oh, like you should use Pakistan, they're cheaper, but sometimes you don't want cheap.
You can't like quality, bro.
You want good quality.
Yeah.
Not saying they don't have good quality because you can get good quality at a cheap price, but it's just like it's like a 50-50.
Yeah,
it's a gamble sometimes.
Yeah, you never
and
know.
Sometimes you don't want to take that gamble. And unfortunately for me, I took that gamble with two of them.
Took the risk.
And I can say that first time I took that risk with them, it was cool until I lost the bread. I probably lost like 1,500 of just straight samples. And then with the next one, I was getting this stuff, but they kept getting my logo wrong. And it was irritating me. And I can say during that time, I wasn't even taking note that they was making my logo wrong. And that's how much of a rush I was in to try to put out clothing. I didn't realize they was getting it wrong until I was already creating a pool of money I was just getting rid of.
Yeah.
So I can say after that, I gave them one more chance, and it was on these shorts. I did like these shorts, and I had a first batch. They got the logo wrong. I told them about it. The thing is, when I told them what was wrong about it, I didn't even say the specific part about my logo that was wrong, and they ended up sending me my another 3 pair of shorts that was perfect, and I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah, so it is trial and error. You never.
So it's like that's what made me like I'm like, you know what? All right, I tried this route, it didn't work. But I can say sometimes you might find you a good manufacturer, or sometimes you're not. It just depends on your luck, your community behind you, or just your own research. Like,
yeah. Do you ever think you will go into manufacturing your own one day?
I can say I got an idea. I ain't gonna say it on.
I
got a crazy idea for in the future when I'm well established with my clothing brand and out in the world. I got a crazy idea, and it's not to be a manufacturer, but it's to be something of a sort. And
they're gonna keep it. Go keep it. When
the bread good, the credit good, I'm telling you, that's something that's gonna shock the world. I'm gonna shock the world with that.
I wanna, bro. Let me know, bro. I wanna show everybody, man. So, last question, man. What's some advice you want to give out there to the young entrepreneurs?
Don't compare. Don't compare and be patient. Like, I can say right now on this day, what's it? The 18th, April 18th. There's a clothing brand pop up right now downtown 704 Market Street. They doing a clothing brand pop up. Shout out to them because they doing something good for the community as well. But like I said, I'm not there right now.
Yeah.
I'm not there right now because I ain't got no pieces to show nobody. So and I've been thinking about this all day, like, dang, I could be there. I'm seeing the post. I'm like, dang, I should be there. I should be there. And I had to let myself know, like, right now, this ain't your time. Like,
the time will be
and everything will come in due time. Like, I promise you. Like, if you think it's not gonna come, stop thinking that. Think like, you know what? It'll happen. Like, the more you keep an optimistic mindset, is going to keep your drive going and keep your focus going, so you can make it happen. I promise you. I could be there right now with my clothing stand with pieces of clothing, but I ain't got no pieces of clothing to show nobody.
Yeah,
so right now, it's just like I'm not gonna go somewhere and set up a stand, and I can't give out. I can't give out. So right now, I'm working on my designs. I know what I got planned for the winter. So when this opportunity come back up, I don't want to say hopefully I'm gonna have a stand there. If it's not in the winter, it's gonna be in the spring again. If it's not here in Greensboro, it's gonna be somewhere else. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put a stand somewhere for people to come and be like, oh damn, like, or people to come and be like and get it from me. Because if I can't ship it to you, boom, you got it from me. If you couldn't get it when I dropped it officially, come to the pop up.
Yo, man. Hopefully one day we can start an Inside the Tracks and Adam. You know what I'm saying? Pop-up shop, man. We get this shit lit. We gonna have the city lit.
Yes.
But man, I appreciate you, my boy, for coming out.
Of course.
We gonna tag everything in the description, website, everything. We're gonna have an ad so y'all can go look at my boy work. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for coming out, man. And this was a great ass interview, man. We're about to fuck the world up with this one. But it's Inside the Track. We out.
All right.